So like I said, she never got close.
But Calliope was wounded inside the reliquary?
That's where the blood was. We don't have anything that would attack anyone, though.
So someone else. But they did it inside the reliquary.
If so, they vanished after.
How do you know Calliope didn't touch or take anything?
Kate knows everything in the reliquary, right down to the last book. She's been looking, but she can't figure if anything was touched. It makes her so mad not to know. And it made Athena pretty mad too.
Athena got involved?
Yeah, when Kate finally told her, Athena wants Kate to keep investigating, but it doesn't look good.
Did you say the reliquary has alarms? Like burglar alarms, cameras?
Oh, no, nothing like that. It just has a lot of protections. You know, magic.
I don't know magic, actually.
Oh, it's just meant to keep the dangerous stuff from being touched. It was set off, so something happened in the reliquary. We just, don't know what exactly.
Those alarms don't go off if someone breaks into the reliquary? They don't detect intruders?
Oh, normally nobody does that.
Calliope did. Someone else could have.
Yeah, but the alarms are just to protect all the books and relics. That's it. Whatever Calliope did here, it was enough to set off the alarms. That's all I know.
What relics are there? Maybe Calliope was looking for one, but couldn't find it before...
Yeah, that I'm not supposed to say.
Do you have the Golden Fleece, the Shield of Zeus, the Sword of Damocles? Is it suspended?
You know a lot about that stuff for a mortal.
So it's all real?
I can neither confirm nor deny any of that. All I know is that nothing got used and nothing got taken.
Athena knows what happened here the night Calliope died?
Yeah, Kate told her a day or so later, I think. We didn't know Calliope died that night, though.
What? Athena didn't mention it?
Nope. Not that that's weird. She's not the chatty type, you know. She came in all quiet and cool, wanted to know who was here that night and what Calliope might have wanted. She swore Kate to silence. Not me, though. Guess she's not as smart as Kate.
This means Calliope came here the night she died. This is where she was attacked.
But we don't know by whom.
We know Medusa was here. She might even have been involved.
Well, she's super scary, but, you know she works for Athena, right? I thought maybe that's why she was here, but Athena said she didn't know about it.
That does seem suspicious.
If that's all you need, then I have to go. Kate will be so mad if she finds me gone. Good luck, Muse.
You okay there, friendo?
I'm just thinking about Calliope. What happened to her here? Whatever she was trying to do, she probably didn't succeed. She ran from here, dying, maybe straight to our apartment.
Because you were her last hope.
Yeah. What if she hadn't made it? She must have known...
One thing at a time, Grace. You'll figure it out. I know you will.
I guess so. Next thing is to go back to Pan. Tell him his favor is done.
What an adventure.
Sorry?
You're just lucky, Grace. Luckier than you think. You go do what you have to, and I'll meet you back at the apartment, okay?
Pan! I hope you're here, because I don't know where else to look for you.
Of course I'm here, Grace. Where else would I be but amongst the trees and the wild things? I really must thank you, by the by. Asterion is simply over the moon, and he's already repaid me with this select tome from the reliquary.
You're welcome. You might have warned me what his love life issue was.
What was it? Asterion wouldn't say.
You really didn't know?
It was exhausting trying to get the poor fellow to admit as much as he did. At any rate, you seem to have worked it out. I trust you got what you needed. More grist for the mill of your innocence, as it were?
It's quite the coincidence. The place you sent me just happens to be the place Calliope was attacked.
That is quite the coincidence. You must be very grateful.
It's just hard to trust a coincidence that big.
You have no reason to be suspicious. I know nothing of what happened to Calliope at the reliquary. I suppose the question at the heart of this is, do you believe me?
You're enjoying this, aren't you? This tit-for-tat back and forth.
I'll enjoy it if you're enjoying it.
Well, I'm not enjoying it.
Oh my, aren't you a delight? Even if you haven't answered the question, don't think I didn't notice. I've never lied to you, Grace, and I never shall. If you're looking for innocence, however, well, I'm afraid that's one thing I cannot provide.
What if I discover you're lying to me after all?
You'll do what you do, and I'll do what I do, and we'll see where that takes us.
I hope it's somewhere good. Somewhere I'm not on trial.
Oh, my. You do know how to spoil the mood, don't you? If I can make a suggestion, live the high life. Throw caution to the wind.
That's your suggestion?
And why not? It's the same as when I first met you, Grace. You can enjoy being an idol. Simply follow my lead.
Why not?
See now, this is why I like you. Such a sense of the inappropriate. It is an ugly business, living among the gods. You'll always twist an arm, even if you're trying not to. And so I say, let's do it. The world, it needs that guy who is prepared to move the pieces in from every side. All of the world's on the edge of a knife, so I choose partying. There's no need for strife. So dance, little Gracie, come, won't you dance? Only so much of your life's in your hands. Haven't I helped you? The rest is chance. So come on, let's have this dance. So what, the call was close. We're both alive and well. We'll live to fight another day, as far as I can tell. And even if you don't, and I expect you won't, I promise you'll be glad you spent the night with me. So dance, little Gracie, come, won't you dance? Only so much of your life's in your hands. Haven't I helped you? The rest is chance. So come on, let's have this dance.
I'm such a fool. I believed I meant more to you. Guess all I am is a piece, a pawn, and you won't care when I'm gone.
Don't be like that, Grace. We both know this is who I am. I can't change, so take it or leave it. I won't repeat it. I'm only here for the dance.
You don't have any hope for me, do you? You're just taking what you can get before it's over.
I've seen this story many times, Grace. I've told this story many times. And it always ends the same way. You're hoping to find Medusa, I expect.
Changing the subject? And how do you even know about that?
I'm just trying to be helpful, Grace. In my way. You'll find Medusa at a dingy little club appropriately named the Viper's Nest. Give her my regards. But do be careful if you call on her Grace. Medusa is a hideous monster and should be treated as such.
Ah, Grace, there you are. It's good you came. Athena is displeased with your visit to the reliquary.
She already knows?
She has her ways of keeping an eye on almost everything. Did you at least learn anything interesting? Well, if Asterion is right, then Medusa was at the reliquary at the same time as Calliope. I take it you intend to seek out Medusa.
I have to know why she was there. She could have been the one who attacked Calliope.
And she very well could attack you. Medusa is unpredictable at best and dangerous at worst. I doubt anything I say could dissuade you, so if you do go, please be extra careful.
I will. I promise.
Anything else you'd like to discuss while you're here?
No, that's okay. I'll see you later, Apollo.
Hey, so what's the news, Miss Muse?
Miss Muse?
Well, does a muse have a proper form of address? I just want to hear what exciting adventures you've been having. Everything else okay, though? Do we know who the killer is yet?
Not just yet, no.
Okay, well, let me know if there's anything I can do. If I have to hustle to become your high priestess, well, so be it.
What are Kaz and Brian up to? You didn't tell them anything, did you?
No, I told them you came home, that you're okay, but that you're having a moment. They send their love.
Should we tell them, do you think?
What for? They have their own problems. Plus, Brian can't keep a secret to save his life, and Kaz is officially homeless.
Is he still crashing on Brian's couch?
Grace, you do know that Brian doesn't have a couch, right? Just some giant beanbag things?
Then where is Kaz? Oh.
Yeah, it's cute. They'll tell us when they're ready. But right now, it's best just to not mix them up in this.
I should really apologize about the band. This kind of puts a dent in your plans, doesn't it?
You're right, Grace. How dare you sabotage my dreams? I am so mad I could spit.
You know what I mean. Nobody could have seen this coming, sure, but it's always been something with me.
Well, as I see it, there are two ways this goes down. One, neither of us gets back to the band. It was just a thing we did for a while before I founded a cult in your name. Or two, we get back to it and the band now has the Muse as its lead singer. Edge of Elysium becomes the coolest and most appropriate band name ever.
Ugh, I still really hate that name.
Look, Grace, you can't be the source of all the drama and name the band, okay? That's the rule.
You know what I find weird? That the idols have managed to remain completely secret all these years. Sure, they have magic and whatnot, but in all this time, nobody's found them out? Athena is that good?
Who says nobody has found them out? The way I see it, it's like UFOs.
Okay, I have to hear this.
Okay, so you could have real evidence that UFOs exist and that governments have covered it up and people still wouldn't believe it. Why? Because they'd get laughed at if they admitted it. Imagine the headline, Greek gods exist and are living among us. What website would even run that?
Weird conspiracy ones. Yeah, you're right. Exactly how much do you know about the Greek gods, Freddie?
I know my Greek mythology, but what I've read clearly doesn't line up with who they are today. Or who they ever were, maybe.
Still might be useful. There's got to be some truth to those stories, right?
Maybe? Who do you want to hear about?
What about Apollo?
Okay, so the prophecy stuff checks out. Apollo was god of the sun and light, but also kind of enlightenment in general. He's always talked about as this beautiful and cultured god involved with the arts and the muses, kind of a Renaissance man before the Renaissance.
He's clearly had a rough time since those days.
Well, he was also a giant horn dog, Grace. I can list off like a dozen men and women Apollo has had as lovers, and there's probably more.
Weren't they all like that, though?
I mean, Apollo's no Zeus. He never assaulted anyone as a swan. And no, they aren't all like that. Our sun god had a reputation.
Do you know anything about the muses? Or Calliope in particular?
Yeah, for starters, there were supposed to be 9. Though I guess there are some sources that said there were only 4, maybe 3. Each of the muses had her specialty. Did you know that Calliope is supposed to be the muse of epic poetry? She inspired the Odyssey.
Wow. I don't even like poetry.
Yeah, it was said her singing voice was unmatched. So they got that part right, at least.
Did she also lead the ancient Greeks in giant choreographed dance numbers?
No, but she once turned a bunch of snobby princesses into magpies, so there's that.
Tell me what you know about Persephone.
Honestly, she's the least like her stories. Usually, she's either a victim or just the wife of Hades, or both.
And that's it? She was kidnapped by Hades, end of story?
Pretty much. Her mother was so angry, she created winter. But otherwise, Persephone was just your average sweet and virginal fertility goddess.
You're right, that doesn't sound like her at all.
Must be hard to be defined by this one thing that happened to you thousands of years ago. I'd be pissed if everyone thought my story ended there.
Well, she is pretty pissed. That much is true. What about Athena? Is she really supposed to be the goddess of wisdom?
Sure, but mostly that's meant as tactical knowledge. Athena wasn't all sweetness and light. She was a warrior goddess. She was also the goddess of heroes. There are loads of stories where Athena helps guys like Odysseus or Jason or Perseus.
No female heroes back in those days?
Yeah, guess not. Women were the weaker sex, which maybe is why Athena was portrayed as being vindictive. She cursed Medusa, one of her own priestesses. She turned people into spiders, struck them blind, started the Trojan War. It's the whole thing.
Not being as wise as advertised is on brand for her, then. You said Pan was some kind of lust god, right?
Yeah, kind of. Pan's a god of the wild, and I guess that translates into a sort of lustfulness and earthiness, humping nymphs in the forest sort of thing.
And you don't like him?
Honestly, he's exactly what I'd expect him to be. All the stories say he's a lech and a beast. The Christians equated him with the devil. Weirdly, he's also the only god who's supposed to have died, though it's never really clear how or why. Anyhow, there's a great statue depicting Pan having sex with a goat. Next time you see him, you gotta ask him about it.
Just how many of these gods are there? From what I've heard, lots of idols live around here.
Well, there are tons of minor gods in Greek mythology, hundreds even, depending on how you define them. Oddly, there's never any mention of the word idols in relation to them. Maybe it's like how people worshipped idols?
I sort of assumed it was related to the eidolon.
Which is a Greek word, but I think it means ghost. An image of someone after they die.
Makes sense.
Me? I'm more amazed at all the big names missing. Not just Zeus and Hades, most of the Olympians seem to be gone. Makes you think about what's been lost. But also, what might still be out there.
You think there might be other gods out there?
Well, there are all those gods the idols say wandered off. We don't know they're dead for sure, right? They could be living it up in Australia. Who would know? Then there are all the other mythologies, hundreds of cultures, each with their own pantheon. So what's so special about the Greeks? That only their gods are real, right? And all those other pantheons could be living in secrecy, just like the idols. And that means they're hidden from each other, too. Oh, they could be everywhere and no one would know.
It's like a whole other secret side to the world.
Yeah, it's cool, right? I hope I get to meet Ganesha one day. Or maybe Lakshmi?
I wonder how much of those stories are true.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I'm giving you the quick version. There are reams of textbooks out there covering all this, but even they rarely agree with each other.
Really? Nothing definitive?
Ancient Greece was 3,000 years ago, Grace. Not much information survived all that time, if it was even valid to begin with.
Okay, that's enough questions for now.
You sure? I can talk all day. You know I can.
I'll check back with you soon, Freddy. Time for more mystery solving. Fancy party? Check. Bunch of strangers? Check. Grace totally not dressed for the occasion? Check. Now, if only I knew what I was supposed to be doing here.
Grace, you made it. I'm so glad. I was beginning to wonder.
You didn't say this was a fancy party. I feel a little underdressed.
Grace, look at me. I didn't even button up my shirt. It's fine.
Why is everyone so quiet? You'd think someone died.
I should have told you about this earlier. I've been putting it off.
I don't like the sound of that. What am I missing?
You don't have any of Calliope's memories, right? No déjà vu recollections that aren't your own?
No. Should I have?
Not right away. For a while, you won't remember anything. We call it the veil. In time, the veil will start to lift, slowly at first, but eventually you'll remember almost everything Calliope did.
Seems like the sort of thing you should tell a new idol.
New idols are usually chosen. You would know about this already, except
Calliope was murdered.
well, remember how old we all are. There are so many memories. So the veil lifts gradually to protect you. Eventually, it's like a flood. It becomes difficult to separate what's you and what's them, and all who came before them.
You're saying I won't be me. I won't be Grace. Will I start calling myself Calliope?
Maybe. Eventually, most of us do, but most of us were chosen and prepared.
And I didn't choose this.
I understand. Take some time to let it sink in. If you like, we can talk about it later.
What does this have to do with the party?
Aphrodite hasn't been the same since we came to the New World. She has horrific memories of what she endured during the war. Passing on her eidolon is a way to forget, for a while. That's what this party is for.
When you say she's gonna pass on her eidolon, you mean...
She's going to die, yes, and pass her soul on to a chosen successor.
in front of everyone?
We're here to help, Grace, to make it easier for Aphrodite to do what she feels she must. We're here to say goodbye, at least for a while.
This isn't the first time Aphrodite's done this. She's held this kind of gathering before, right?
This is her fourth, I think, perhaps fifth.
So every time the veil, whatever you call it, when it starts to lift...
Aphrodite's memories return, and eventually it is too much. We gather to pay our respects and to honor the past. Well, she still remembers it.
Wait. Calliope refused to come to these parties. That's what you said.
She refused on principle. Everything Calliope did was on principle. She believed Aphrodite was indulging her sadness, wallowing in it. She thought Aphrodite should try harder. It was a point of contention between them. Aphrodite will be grateful you're here. Trust me.
Do you support what Aphrodite is doing here?
It's not my choice to make, Grace.
Yeah, but you must have an opinion.
Eventually you will remember what we experienced during the war, and eventually you will remember that what Aphrodite experienced was far worse. If this is the mercy she requires, I will not tell her she should not take it.
I don't know, Apollo. I don't like the whole idea.
You want her help, don't you?
Yes, but...
At least speak with Aphrodite before you make a final decision. She's not here just yet. Until she arrives, I suggest mingling.
Mingling.
Yeah, mingling. Talk to Eros. Or we can talk more if you like. Just try to relax, Grace.
Sure, yeah. Relax. That's what this party is for, right?
Grace!
Hey, Eros. Nice to... Oh. Okay.
Aphrodite will be so happy you're here. It means so much, you have no idea.
Are you okay? You seem a bit...
Every time she does this, I don't know how to handle it. I almost want to run upstairs and demand she stop. Remind her that this never works. Sorry, I shouldn't unload on you. It's been a bad week.
Hey, I understand. This can't be easy.
She's the one who is suffering. I shouldn't be complaining. I just hate this. I'm there every day, going through it all with her. The nightmares, the panic attacks, the weeks when she just won't get out of bed. I'm there when she forgets the war's over, and I hold her until the screaming stops. Me. I do that.
That sounds awful.
And now I'm arranging her gathering again, so she can die again. And I'll watch it all again.
Is there no other way? Does Aphrodite really need to...
To die? I've asked that so many times. She's tried magic, drugs, psychotherapy, meditation, everything we could possibly think of. For a while, she'll deny anything's wrong. It all seems fine, and I start to hope. Maybe this time will be different. Then the nightmares begin, and the memories return. More with each passing day until... I hate it, but I see her agony. I can't deny her this.
Is it okay if I ask what happened? I don't mean to pry, but I'm new. I really don't know.
No, it's okay. I wouldn't usually talk about it, but I know you don't mean any harm. What happened is that Brother Ares happened. He missed out on the first world-spanning war, you see, so he was damned if he'd miss out on the next one. He found some jack-booted mortals, so full of themselves and their supremacy, and he told them about the idols. Then they came for us. Took us completely by surprise. Some they killed, but Aphrodite, her they captured.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.